sort of emulating the worst aspects. I guess the easiest to replicate aspects of um, Western society, specifically American society, where you have fake Supreme, fake Apple, fake McDonald's, and it's so incredibly.
McDonald's.
I think the cultural homogenization of the world is a bad thing. I don't want to go to these foreign countries and see McDonald's. I want to be seeing their own what you call it? I guess in house, but in country.
Like Russia currently has, yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, they what is it like? McDonald's got sold off to another fake pseudo McDonald's. So nah, I don't want that. I want something that's like, well, we've sort of made our a staple dish in our country, and we've made it so it can be replicated very easily. So it becomes fast food instead of like, oh yeah, we're doing burgers. It's like, what? Why are we doing fucking burgers? Americans made ostensibly made that culturally popular with McDonald's. I don't want that shit. I want something unique. You know, it's like, yeah, these are our fast food dumplings. They're very easy to create, and we've got a business out of this. It's like, oh, that's cool. We need more of that, and we need less homogenation when it comes to fashion, like Gucci. I don't want to see Gucci. Sorry, I don't want to see any of this shit. Have your own fashion. Do you know? And you notice this too. When it comes to fashion, political fashion in the vast majority of the world is wearing a fucking business suit. Are we fucking serious?
Yeah, you
You
got the
go to
Gucci loafers and the yeah one.
this is so it's so boring. Yeah, but then look at Nigeria and look at what their guys wear. You know, they're wearing these like cool fucking robes. Hold on, let me just show you. I mean, some of them are wearing suits because the homogenization is so bad. But look at what this guy's wearing. He's wearing fucking robes. Oh, the Saudi Arabian guys. Hold on.
Well,
Um, I guess I'll just get a picture of MBS, but I mean, the guy has a fucking swagger. You're telling me you don't look at that and it's like, that is smart, eloquent. That
yeah, you're
that
looking
is
at
sick.
Middle Eastern culture. Like the thing is that a lot of these are religiously bound. So like when you wear a suit, you're kind of not like you're not identifying with any cultural belief. You're just wearing aside from money, you know. So
Yeah, exactly. That no, that's the epitome of, money. It's the West. You are identifying. It's not religious, but it's still ideological. It's the, Western sort of, you look, you present. It's all about presentation. And when somebody looks at you and you're wearing a suit, especially if you're living in one of these other countries, it's like, what do you represent? Well, you represent the current power. It's sort of a downstream sort of, you take the clothing of the power holders. So it's, America right now, they're, at the top of the food chain by far. And it's like, now you're taking their culture because now you represent that, because that's what power means. Well, now you're emulating to hold that power. That's what it is. And these are politicians. So yeah, that's the ideology. It's power. You're showing off your power by, representing the clothes of the powerful. At least that's my impression of why suits are so popular. Because imagine if an alien species came and they're wearing very esoteric robes that we've never seen before. I think by a decade we'll be seeing, if we become integrated into their ecosystem, we will be seeing politicians now start wearing this. The ones that identify with this, that know that's the world order, and they want to get powerful within that sort of ecosystem, because it's like, now we're in their ecosystem, they're going to be emulating those fucking robes. And if that means men wearing high heels with thongs showing, no, that's most
they're like
definitely
Playboy
going to happen.
Cardi. Playboy Cardi. I mean, if you want to go like other end of it, I mean, I think Playboy Cardi was wearing like dogs or some shit recently. I guess you call him the Uber exclusive like celebrity like music producer elite type deal. Like they've got to go. It's like a horseshoe theory. You know what a horseshoe theory is? Ever heard of that?
Absolutely, yeah, I absolutely know what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it's like a horseshoe thing where like on the other like end of it on like it just ends up being like that's pretty much the same fucking thing. So when people get like I think especially if you're looking at like a capitalistic viewpoint of creative ideas, you're just gonna fucking end up like going like you're just gonna end up like I guess okay, I hate using the term like cultural bias, but I mean, if you haven't worn it, you should wear it. It's a really big thing when you're like just uber rich. So like the actual meaning is somewhat lost. Like for instance, if you're looking at like people wearing specific religious clothing and political positions in specific countries that are Islamic, like that has its reason. For, like it's just a push. Like this is what our country is for. Like you said, image wise. So like then you see like fashion as an entirety, especially in Western like areas like the United States or let's be real, the UK, like Paris, fucking France type deal. Like a lot of that's just like I don't know, like a lot of it is just what can we wear and get away with, and how much money can we put on what we're wearing, because of the market itself. It's not really for any like you might have like a designer or something that's like, oh yeah, this means a lot to me, but like regardless, let's say they're like I don't know, Valencia like releases something because one of their designers or like Rick Owens himself is like just goes through a hippie what do you call it, hippie renaissance period. Starts throwing in some like old like Hindi fucking robes into the next like fashion week or something. It's gonna pick up regardless of the actual meaning that Rick Owens has for it. Like if he's like, oh yeah, like I don't know, I'm enlightened, I got into Hinduism. People are just gonna see it as cool. Like, you know what I mean? Like really simple, like grassroots type of, or I guess Neeraj put it really good, blue roots. I think it's like the term. Where like they're gonna just see it as a thing to do. It's like people like getting into Supreme Bogos, like in like hype beast in like 2019. They're not like like
That one,
they just think it's
2019. That
just a
was mid
trend.
2010s.
2010s was Obey Osiris. That was kind of
No,
where that
that
was.
that was like 2013,
Supreme
2014. But the
existed.
culture by 2016 was Supreme for sure.
Yeah,
2016 was
hype beast.
Supreme. Yeah.
So it's like they're
Hold your
not like
breath. Hold
regardless.
your breath. I need a drink. I need a drink. Hold
Yeah,
on.
tell me about it. I got this like I'm drinking the gayest drink. It's a Cosmopolitan. I don't know if you ever heard of that, but I purposely got this for 420. Like, get a Cosmopolitan. I have like a liter of Cosmopolitan. I got like a fifth of vodka and I put that into one of the mixers. I was able to buy. I'm missing the lime. That's about it.
I'm back.
Have you ever heard of Mendez? You know what a Mendez is?
Looking at this now. I don't know what it is.
These
Is it
are
temporary?
so fucking aesthetic. I have a friend that has like they have it up to their like do you call, like, they have all their fingers done, up to, like, the wrist, but they, like, purposely have, like, their thumbs, untatted. Normally they're not permanent, but, like, there's a few that are permanent. So, like, this sort of shit, like, I feel like the second that, like, somebody picks up on this being, we already have, like, hand tats and face tats, but, like, like, when it comes to, like, culture versus, like, I don't know, pop culture versus religious culture, like, that shit just gets translated through America or whatever, like, first world country and then shit back out. Kind of wild. Double-edged sword for sure when it comes to fashion, right? Because like, you'd want people to run like, I don't know, the influence like the Saudi Arabia, like, person in power, it does it is absolutely emulated by the population of Saudi Arabia. So, like, that gets I don't know, it's a huge, like, horseshoe thing where, like, let's say somebody fucks with it really hard in some fashion industry, bought a buoy, now you got it in fashion, like worldwide fashion, like, and, there you go. Like, I think, I mean, as you said, America's kind of on top with the business suits, that's a huge thing, but, like, like, I like looking like, comparing that to, like, Jaden Smith, like, looking like a hobo, like, It's like the same beat. I
You
was like,
can't reference a lot of pop culture people. Me, you said Playboy Carti and now James Smith. I don't know who these people are. I'm a gamer. I'm not into movies and hip hop, rap, American shit. Not into that.
That's fair, yeah, yeah. Just assume people that are celebrities that have an influencer what they wear. Like, there you go. You don't even have to know who they are.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know if you looked like above when we were talking a few days ago, but I linked like the homeless look like being a thing in fashion. Like a few like shows where they literally just try to emulate homelessness, but in like extremely like uber rich fashion shows. I don't know. Like it's like a horseshoe thing where like the people with a bunch of money are just gonna end up like I don't know. They have like what do you call blah blah blah. What's the term? Uh there's a term for this shit. God damn it. Brain's farting out. Wait, what'd you get to drink? What'd you get to drink?
I only drink water. That's it.
Uh,
And milk maybe in the morning. And
you know what you know
night.
what a cosmopolitan is, or
Isn't that just a concoction?
yeah, cocktail, yeah, close enough.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah.
I should have said that drink concoction. That's
You're
what I
not
meant.
wrong though. That's what it is. A concoction.
I
Like you're not. That's what it is.
I know exactly. Yeah, I'm using literalist term because I'm just so outside drinking culture that I don't call it that. Shit,
That's
I
good.
call
That's
it
good.
by what I describe. I'm just
Keep it
describing
that
what I see.
way.
That's it.
Keep it that way. Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. That's what it is. So yeah, yeah, it's just a concoction of like cranberry juice, lime, and a few other like random ass fruit and vegetable drinks put together with some alcohol. I'm gonna have a really weird because I'm having to do like 420 at my job. I live in like a really weedy weed area. So
I mean, yeah,
I'm
you're West Coast. That is the West
yeah,
Coast
yeah.
thing.
So we're doing a dime, like, just to give you like an idea, we're doing a dime bag deal at my job. A dime bag is like, a dime bag is like a $10 bag of marijuana. It's like the slang term. I don't know what it is, and like I guess it'd be like it's like I don't know, what is it? A G bag G bag of cats of fiber, I guess, would be like kind of the same idea, something like that. Yeah, fucking dime bag deal. I had to like go to my job. Everyone's gonna be super high here. I'm waiting to just see people like fucking like crash their cars through parking over and over. Like honestly.
No, it doesn't sound like a good thing.
Yeah, it's like I don't think I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't. I think people go really hard on 420 to be honest. So I'm having to like DD drunk DD my way through today.
Yeah, how do you feel about celebrating Hitler's birthday? You don't feel bad about that?
Wait, Hitler's birthday? He could have been a painter.
Yeah, true. But he wasn't a painter, so you have to contend
He
with the
wasn't a painter
reality.
at all. Yo, I had a bunch of I had a yeah,
Not by
alternate
trade.
reality. Yeah, I wish he was a painter, bro. That would have been. Do you think if he was a painter, someone else would have had a similar ideological like political movement?
Yeah, no, that's always what I think. I'm because I'm quite determinist. It's like structures make things, and so if a structure existed to make Hitler, it could have been the case that somebody else or there was an other movements or other people that could have created the movement. Um, but
Yeah.
also, I do think there's going to be very unique personal circumstances. But I fail to see how somebody can galvanize a population without there being some sort of underlying sentiment there that he just helped bring out and inflate.
You ever see the 1936 Olympics with him like tweaking on meth?
No.
Oh my god. There's I don't know if I can find it. There's literally a video like basically I mean you know like the meth chocolate. I forget the name of it. It's like meth chocolate.
F chocolate. It's really hard to imagine people being on meth in a very casual
Yeah.
setting. It's something that, because drinking is very socially acceptable, even among, from the poorest of society to the highest. But meth, it's not like that. But the way it's described, people are like, yeah, everyone's using it. D19, sorry, D9.
This is just one of the things they have, dude. No, it was used for meth was a huge factor of the of World War II, especially on the Axis front. Yeah, at the same time we also used meth like on the American front or what do you say, Allied front. It was just like a like it was as like normal as drinking. It was put into foods. Uh there's a really good period I like watching with Hitler where he clearly was strung out on meth like during like 19 like the 19 late 1930s. And there is videos of him just tweaking the fuck out on meth in public scenarios. It's pretty wild if you think about it now. Like, another thing is if you look at like the Axis powers, like you're looking Italy and also like Japan specifically, dude, they would program their kamikaze fighters like to do suicide plane crashes.
Yeah,
Just
I
because
do
they,
know about
they
this.
filled them up on meth. They were all on meth. Like meth was like used like consistently in most of the kamikazes. There was a term for it in train. Like it was like instead of like waking up doing some coffee, they would just do meth. And that's like when it comes to programming on stimulants, holy shit, it's so easy. Like they're like tweaking on meth. Like you die for your emperor. Like everything's like yeah, no, it's weird. Anyway, yeah. Also Columbine. Can't forget Columbine. I mean, US.
Shooting.
Oh yeah, the Columbine shooting. Yeah, the Columbine school shooting happened on 420 as well.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, these all
Oh,
happen at it's like a weed celebration, yet Hitler, yet Columbine, like all at the same time. If you're talking to anyone that isn't like, fucking baked out of their mind. Yeah.
fuck, I forgot what I
Like I'm
was looking
purposely
for.
gonna oh, you're good. Yeah, my bad.
No, sorry, I worded that wrong. There's something I was looking for, but I forgot what the name of. It's a certain anime, and that anime has a specific meth solution that was distributed and was after the post-war period, or I guess after the war in the post-war period in Japan. It was something that people were, especially men, were addicted to. Um, but I forgot what type of sorry, what it was called and what the anime it was, what anime it was from. Like some prison break anime. Panda Soda? No. Panda Skull Carla Dae. No, that
Yeah,
says.
it translates to tanker chocolate. This is a
Hmm.
really good list to go off of, even though it's Wikipedia.
Hmm.
One of my favorites out of this is the fact that we gave like in America for Vietnam, we gave our soldiers condoms and MREs, and then also gave them something called stay awake pills in the same MRE, which ended up just being amphetamine salts, essentially instant release Adderall. But they gave 15 mg to them, which is beyond what a normal dosage is for most normal adults now. For even people like, unless you're dealing with narcolepsy, there isn't a reason to like have that high of a dosage unless you're abusing the substance or have narcolepsy. So like they gave these stay awake pills to I think there was like one in every MRE or something in the Vietnam War, which might have been a factor of us losing, since pretty much every soldier at that period in that period were outside of the recreational drugs they could access. In Vietnam, they were given by the government in their food supply amphetamines. It's a diuretic and a stimulant. They're like in the jungle, like it's a horrible mix. Like this is still like the military of the United States, and I don't know about most in NATO, but I think a majority of people, at least in like Five Eyes and like NATO, will or had a huge campaign against like drugs and everything. This is happening during the war on drugs, by the way, which is a huge meme because like I think it's like it was like a Schedule 2, which means like you're getting prison time if you have it and you don't have a script for it, if you're a civilian. But at the same time this was happening during like the 60s and 70s, we were giving it to our soldiers like to function. Um, I don't know. Very, very interesting rabbit hole if you want to get into it. I blame a lot of like that sort of shit. I mean, I hate saying like drugs are like the reason why, but there's definitely a huge factor on erratic behaviors of how Nazi Germany acted, with their like the structure and the idea they could just like take meth at any point they wanted to. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
interesting to think about. Same with like what do you think, aside from like inducting someone into a cult, which essentially you're doing if you're gonna like have people fly into places with planes and die for their emperor, what how do you control like a military for something like that? Probably drugs, most likely drugs.
Religion.
Uh, religion and drugs. Yeah, you're gonna go to Nirvana and also here's some meth for your country. It's really really easy. Do you ever keep up with like the terrorist attack, like the Tokyo terrorist attacks from like the 90s with the sarin like issue? I forget the name of the cult,
I
but
don't. I don't even know what this is. It sounds interesting already. What is
oh
this?
wow, yeah, no, there was a cult in Japan back in the it's like Heaven's Gate.
No, but I've heard of it.
Really? You don't even know what Heaven's Gate is? Oh my God! All
No.
right, Heaven's Gate was a cult in America that believed that there was a comet called the Halley's Comet that was going to pass with some sort of alien intelligence that would take you from your soul and put you on something called the mothership if you deleted yourself while it was passing, like past the Earth, right? This is one of the biggest mass suicides that happened outside of, I think, Georgetown or something.
Georgetown.
Yeah.
Sad.
So yeah, yeah. So like, it was literally the drink the Kool-Aid meme. Like, they inducted it was through televangelism, Christian televangelism in the 90s, right? And it's highly seen as like a lot of people use it as examples for Scientology, back when it was gaining a bunch of prevalence through celebrities and whatnot, as it has a bunch of pseudo bullshit that goes into it. It's like, you gotta like believe in aliens, and you have to believe there's some sort of way of like your consciousness attaching outside of your body to like something that it's a huge pseudo like bullshit rap essentially. And there was before Heaven's Gate, maybe after Heaven's Gate, or I think it was before it. There was a similar ideological cult, yet it focused more on a mix of like Eastern philosophy and religion, mixed with the savior-esque prophet shit from Christianity for the cult leader. They essentially saw the cult leader, which I forget his name. One second. Please look into it. Even like, dude, it was backed by the Russian military. The Russian military gave them firearms. This like it started getting used as a political target for countries that wanted to have more control in Japan. Um, one second.
That's a big thing over there.
Yeah, I'm
The
Shinriko. That's his name.
the cult shit.
Culture's really tough.
There's actually something really interesting relating to the cult. Whereas you know the guy that assassinated Shinzo Abe, he was basically a guy that he was like 40 years old, and he basically had um his college investment or university investment squandered by his mother, who, after I think family, maybe his father dying, she basically went to a religion and basically, and she inherited a construction company and basically run it into the ground by donating all the money to this church. And so he basically lost his, future from that, and so he became this super miserable guy. Fast forward to was this 2023, 2022, where he makes a makeshift weapon, and it just happens that in Nara, Shinzo Abe was going to be there. He didn't even intend to kill him, and that was a local thing for him. So he went there to gun him down, and his the reasoning was because, oh, Shinzo Abe is somebody that's obviously politically very relevant, because even though he wasn't PM at the
He's
time, he
connected
was
to the church. Yeah.
he was, yes, he was connected to connected in some way to the church. And so when he died, it was like, whoa, especially internationally, it was like, fuck, Shinzo Abe. You don't really know that much about him, outside. So it's like, nah, political assassination, especially, if you come from a liberal democracy, it's like, that's not how you get people to change their mind. But now, fast forward, it seems like the assassination was really successful in terms of the activism. From an activism standpoint, when I think of the cornerstone of activism is to sort of not only inform the public of an issue that you have, but it's also to animate them to act on that issue. And it seems like he's successfully done both of those things, where through this assassination, he's gotten the government to actually act on this, and he's gotten the public aware of this. It's like, people are like, oh, Shinzo Abe, them not dying is not cool. But also now you've got the world's attention on, like, wait, these, especially because it's very clear to us, because at least where I'm from, like, we're way more secular than America, and America is still doesn't have these like crazy cults having really big
In God we trust. I don't know.
God
I'm
we
just going off the
trust.
currency.
Right, but it's not, the cults are quite unique to South Korea and Japan, and so it's like, whoa, what the fuck is this cult shit? It's like, whoa, this is some super fucked up shit. And so, unironically, his assassination was really effective. How'd you even feel about that? That somebody did a political assassination and it was something that had the desired effect.
Well, I mean, the desired effect is to take out your anger on your family falling for a church that a political figure also like holds pretty strong in their campaigns. Like, I mean, I guess if you're going that direction with it. So
Well,
what
it's
I
not
think America
the
did.
goal. I think the goal was,
Yeah, what do you think the goal was? Yeah.
Well, I think you tapped on some of it, where it's like, yeah, he's taking out anger on society in a very, well, I would say the violent action in a very sort of liberal democracy saying, to me, shows the thought process of anger. I don't think you do that in these types of societies without being a very angry person, especially him talking just from would you call it, watching readings of reading like his reasoning for doing that, but I still think the core reasoning was, yeah, he was angry over the cult sort of
Yeah, he
having
just did
such
not like the
prevalence,
unification church. Yeah.
but having prevalence within society in that sort of way. It's not the unification church isn't something that hurt him. It's not like, all right, so let's say somebody hurt me and it's basically they've only hurt me. It's a little bit different from the unification church, where they're so big and they have their tendrils everywhere. they can basically, and especially that's quite close to politics too. It's like they have the opportunity to hurt anyone, and I feel like the injustice in that would have been felt by the guy, and I feel like his one of the big reasons by targeting a political figure is sort of like, hey, like this is how I feel, this is my reasoning for it. I don't think it's completely stupid in terms of like, whoa, he killed a random politician. I think there was a little bit more rationale, but I'm not gonna give him like what you call it? It's like, yeah, he was clearly of clear mind, because that guy definitely was ruminating on his thoughts way too much, because he probably could have been effective with his activism by doing all this shit, but I still think he was really effective. Maybe he could have never been this effective. And that's what I'm trying to bring up when I ask the question, is like, what do you think about him politically assassinating someone and then being really effective in sort of holding this institution, the societal institution, to account? I think that is a little bit worrying, I think, because you don't want copycats. That's one of the scariest things. If somebody
I can
does
give
something,
you a real life example of this, or like an anecdote. So if so okay, you know who Ted Kwasniak is, like the Unabomber.
no. Yeah, I do know who the Unabomber is. Wait, is that the guy that sent bombs through letterboxes?
Yeah, he had a really big agenda against technological progress being pushed through governmental entities and the fact it can control people and change how we act and view things, to give you a simple way of doing that. So when I worked at Meta, there was multiple days I wasn't able to work because people were calling bomb threats and over the metaverse. There was somebody that tried bombing the Detroit headquarters in 2022. Apparently because of Ted Kwasniak and like what he was saying or something like that. So like there, when you bring up copycats, like that was real as shit actually. Obviously, metaverse is kind of a meme, but people do there is people that have beliefs like that like
All people.
will yeah, they're just like, oh, we need to bomb the meta evil lizard people. I think in America, since we're such a big country, it's really easy for intelligence agencies to push the religious foundations of a lot of politicians into cold-esque bullshit and kind of mini sting ops to keep an assassination from actually happening, like blaming a corporation or a specific foundation, and then making like like using a manifesto from a previous person to kind of dissolve copycats into specific pathings or pipelines where you can kind of see it's going to happen, deal with it, not a big deal. With this situation with him getting assassinated, though, it's like a very personal thing that isn't attached to it. Like it's really easy. Let's say I don't like technology. I think technology is going to change the way we view things. Blah blah blah. Whatever bullshit you have against technology or against a certain religion or against a certain like part of that religion. It's really easy to put them in specific barriers through the internet at this point, where like I don't know, you can just like pipeline them into freedom of speech because people don't want to hear their message, and then pipeline them into some like random alt right shit, and then boom, now there's just like another person in that category instead of them being a lone wolf like type of deal, like the person who killed Shobi or something. That's the only
Killed
reason I don't
who?
like. Hmm?
Killed who?
Shobi Shiba PM that died. I'm
Shobi
just
Shiba.
posting Shibi.
Shinzo Abe?
I'm calling him a kid. I'm calling him like actual dog. I'm literally calling him a Shiba Inu. What was it? Anyway. Yeah, it's kind of the same. Like the reason that I don't see this happen, I at least don't seem to see this happening as much, is because our like intelligence agencies are really good at being able to algorithmically push them into bigger groups, like that are like already targeted by federal agencies, instead of it just being some random person that's mom like gambled on her religion because it was like funded by politics. You know. I guess I don't know. It makes it an odd case, like where I don't when it comes to like question like was it successful? All I think the Unification Church did was kind of dissolve slightly, so it's not much of a public eye, and then pay a bunch of benefits to people over the issues, and then like, they're not going anywhere, you know.
Yeah,
Like
well,
Scientology
at
isn't
least you
going
get a
anywhere
payout.
either.
At least you get a payout.
I guess. I mean, I'm not sure where the money even goes. It could just go to nonprofits for all you know.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, could be
Just
true.
saying. Just saying. Yeah, just saying. Like, I don't know. Like, it could go to nonprofits. They don't have to disclose where the money's going to specific victims. They could just put like I think it was like 67 million or something that the Unification Church paid out after the event. I mean, 60 million of that could have just gone to like nonprofits for mental health or something for some political advantage on the situation, and then 7 million could have gone to actual like somebody that gambled on the church or some shit because of a PM like the
Hmm.
terrorist mother did, right? You have no clue, but it looks good on paper, and that's all that really fucking matters. Like science, the fact Scientology. Have you ever kept up with Scientology? I mean, if you're interested in this, that's like one of the bigger ones. Like that they better yet, what Jehovah Witnesses, borderline, like then you got like Mormons, Amish, that sort of deal. I mean, shit, if you really want to get deep, German Baptists. I don't know. There's even, I mean, there's nationalist Buddhist groups that like want to genocide like Islamics. Like it's considered one of the peaceful peaceful religions. Yeah, there's literally anyway.
Buddhism is not a peaceful religion.
Bro, I know, yeah.
No
No,
way.
no religion's a peaceful religion. No religion is a peaceful religion. Like it's such silly words. Like I just don't. I
Well,
never
I
got
do
that.
believe there are. If I make a religion on where the foundation is peace, then it only takes it to be misinterpreted,
For my
which
peace to
means
exist, we must kill those who are
yeah,
non-peaceful. That was easy.
no, but you're taking the word peace. I'm saying
Yeah,
trying to
I know what I'm
describe.
doing.
Let's say like it could be a peaceful sort of structure that you exist in, where it's clearly outlined on how you're meant to act, where you can't, let's say like no matter what, you can't bring violence to anyone, and if you and it makes it very clear, and obviously a lot of religions can be nebulous in terms of what you're meant to do in order to adhere to the religion, but it's honestly, I think we call a lot of people religious, but I think a lot of people just aren't religious. I don't know. I don't buy the. I think there needs to be more gatekeeping when it comes to using the term like, "Oh, I'm a Christian." Okay, do you not go? Do you go church? Oh, you're gay. It's like I don't see you as a Christian in my head. That's
That's
you.
rough. Cause like if you think about the different sects of Christianity, like I mean, it's like I don't know, like I don't know. Do you think it's like a linguistic thing with translations over periods of time that changed the way the core religion worked? Because I mean, I would believe like regardless of like specific stances you have ideologically, like a lot of like at least with non-denominational Christianity, the idea that is simply you just believe there is a higher power, their name is Jesus, and they existed at this period of time to save you from your sins, and they are the Son of God. Like, that's it's literally called the ABCs of Christianity, right? Like that's a thing, and it exists. That is like one of the biggest what do you say interstates into Christianity is non-denominational Christianity. So like regardless of your what your identity and whatnot, as long as you have those core fundamental beliefs, most people on the planet would consider you
You're a
Christian.
Christian, yeah, and I say no.
Now I'm not. Well, you're looking at like Aramaic like term Christianity. There's been so many renditions of the same ideological things that it becomes really like muffled, like what you have to identify as to be in that religion. Like they're almost like there's actually a really good channel on this shit. I was raised as a Baptist when I was younger. Even I got like baptized, all that fun jazz. Went to the camps, but it was in like rural Georgia. If I had the same experience where I live right now, things like my sexuality would not really be brought up outside of scripture, and then there would be like some sort of segue into how like it could like how it could be interpreted and how you like how it can be interpreted. One of my favorites the fig tree in the what do you call it, Jesus with like Paul and like Jesus blaspheming the fig tree because it can't bear fruit. But I feel like if you just change the I to an A, like the fact she can't bear fruit, you know, like the Sodom and Gomorrah, Sodom and Gomorrah. You start getting like what do you call theologists that will argue that Sodom and Gomorrah was more of a attack on adultery in itself through adultery being one of the cardinal sins instead of it being specifically over your sexuality. Just sexuality is like a identity figure like compared to the act of adultery. Like, you know what I mean? Like the words become really, really, really
Yeah, and then I'll call
interpretable
that
in any
cherry
way. Yeah.
picking because there's so many different passages in the Bible in relation to demonizing same sex sexuality. So
Well, you
uh,
can't bear fruit. You can't bear fruit. That's like the fig tree thing. You can't bear fruit. You know, it becomes and then you're looking at like now you're like all a lot of religion ends up being is cherry picking specific things from text and going, this is what we want. Like, you know, this is our
I
ideal of
know,
how we
and
should function. So,
I think it's
you know,
pathetic. That's
that's
why I
just
say it's
religion in
like you
itself.
are. Yeah, yeah, that is religion. You're sort of following a very incoherent. At least religion isn't inherently incoherent, but the religions that we have, at least the ones that I know of, are incredibly incoherent when it comes to telling you what to do, and quite nebulous too at times
Vague,
when it
yeah.
comes to the verbiage. So um, I do I do think that there are enough instances of something in a text where you can make a you can be like, okay, that's probably, a core tenet of being a Christian. But then if you don't follow that, I do think it's like, how can you call yourself a Christian? How can you say you believe in this and then you don't follow it, or you just cherry pick and cope? No, you're not that. Because I just think from my perspective, if you say, okay, I'm a high round zombies player, and I'm thinking, oh, okay, what rounds have you got? And it's like, oh, I've been to round 100 once. It's like, nah. Or let's say a gamer. When I say you're a
Yeah, you make it a
gamer,
you make
no,
it
no,
a
no, actually,
nomination. You identify to a denomination of the religion. Like if you're gonna bring it into like zombies, you have a denomination as well with like how you play it and how
yeah,
you consider
BL1.
your denomination. This is
Um,
a really good channel if you want to deep dive into religion, like especially Christianity. Is a like really good start is Christianity, and this guy's pretty fire. He's
Redeemed
like a really
Zuma.
good channel. Yeah,
Team
literally. Yeah,
Redeemed.
he's just some Christian internet guy who just tries to make simplified explanations of how religion works, or sorry, not religion, Christianity works in like the United States. It changes per area, obviously, but if you want like a U.S. perspective of how the denominations work, good video. Would
I
highly recommend this channel.
Right. No, I was gonna say gamer. That's actually one that's been contentious, where people will argue over what gamer means, and it's specifically to do with women,
What?
and they'll be like, "Oh, 50% of gamers are women. Even more actually are women." And I'm
Well,
and
what
I'm
is
thinking,
I can make a paper plane and throw it at a wall and make it a game, and I'm a gamer in my opinion. Like, yeah, like it's really silly.
yeah, and
I
I'm saying
hate
I'm
women. They're the
thinking, how
worst.
much have you expanded the definition to include more than more women are playing are gamers? Because I know from the spaces that I inhabit, just from my experience, they are predominantly dominated by men. But also, I do have masculine hobbies, and so those are going to translate to gaming, and therefore there might be a selection bias in, oh, I find a lot of men playing the games I play, but that doesn't necessarily represent all games. But then what games are we talking about when it comes to the ones that women play? Are we talking about phone games? Cut the fucking rope?
Hey, no,
That's not the
that is
same.
technically that's a game though. That's a
No,
game.
no, I
Like,
don't. I don't
I'm
like the
sorry, you know,
technicalities. I don't like the
where they gotta play like
technicalities because
exalted. They gotta like play like five, like fucking like what is it like D&D 5e like to be a gamer. Because I mean, let's be on the male perspective. What if I don't consider COD a game? Like your COD's you're gaming, yeah, but you're like not gaming. Listen, I got a fucking 12 die dog. I am a DM. Like I don't know what you're talking about. That's not gaming. Your video gaming thing isn't gaming. What I'm doing is gaming. Like great fucking argument actually. Yeah, what about tabletop? Like the tabletop community got fucked over. That's like OG gaming. What do you mean? Like take
No,
it
this
even
is what
further.
I'm
I got
talking
Crow
about
in chat.
because
Come on.
your
You mean
engagement with
like
the
internet
word
gaming?
gaming,
Virtual gaming?
no, this is the dumbest argument that expansionists will propose, where it's like they're looking at the word gaming and it's like they're trying to expand it to anything that could be considered a game. And I think, okay, then the definition becomes
Video gaming. Gaming off of video
yeah,
games.
and then you have to add, and the thing is you have to make the word so superfluous and verbose to actually categorize what you're talking about. But then when I say gaming, like when I say, oh, he's a gamer,
No
everyone knows what
differentiation.
I'm talking.
Yeah.
No. This is what I find bullshit. It's like when I say gamer, when I say that when I'm not in a conversation that's trying to define what a gamer is, when I say that person is a gamer, they have an image in their head that it immediately comes into their head, right?
Like
And that's
like
what
a
I'm trying
visual image
to.
of some dude with a controller and like some Turtle
Right,
Beaches
exactly,
on.
exactly.
Probably could just play
And
COD,
in
honestly. But
and that's when I come to the definitions. I'm not trying to be prescriptive. I'm trying to be descriptive. What do people think about when they think about a gamer? And that's what I'm trying to signal when I say gamer. So you can't call somebody that plays Candy Crush on their phone a gamer because that's not what you think about when you think about a gamer.
whatever they're the best Candy Crush player ever, they're
Well,
like
that's
gonna go to the
completely
Candy
different.
Crush
No. That's
tournament.
completely different. That's obviously not what I'm talking about. That's an edge
Yeah.
case example. And yeah, I would consider
Sure,
them a
yeah.
gamer because they're engaging in a hobbyist. Their engagement is hobbyist. It's not casual. It's a very hobbyist engagement. When you talk to a hobbyist, it's like, okay, yeah, I know who the developers are in the game. It's like fucking David Vonderhaar, man. You know, when you're playing fucking BO2 multiplayer and something,
David
Ghost.
Wondahar, bro. God, I haven't heard
Yeah,
that name in so many
yeah,
years.
no, but
Fucking bald ass.
it's like any gamer you talk to that's played COD. It's like David Vonda. I know what that is. If you don't know who David Vonda is, I'm sorry that you're not a gamer. If you've played COD, or
Bald as
if
fuck.
when you play, so when you play games, right? Right. When I say gamer, and when people think of the word gamer and conceptualize what a gamer is, they're talking about hobbyist, somebody that has enough that plays the games enough to know the sort of culture around it, engage in the culture. Let's say go on Discords, go on message boards, go on whatever the fuck. They know the developers' names. They even know the history of the genre. That's what a gamer is. A gamer isn't somebody who's like,
That
huh?
sounds like a fan of a certain game,
That's a
though. That's not a
hobbyist. No, that's a
gamer.
hobbyist. Because if you play
Uh,
games and not because a gamer, what it's describing is somebody that it isn't somebody that played a game once. It's somebody that plays games frequently. And so
well, if
somebody
you,
that
okay,
plays frequently is absolutely going to
uh,
engage in the game enough
it means
to sort of
present
pick up
time.
on
It's
who the
present
dev is.
time terminology. It's present time terminology. Gamer. I was a gamist. Like you know what I mean. I was a gamist. I gamed, and then I am a gamer. I'm gaming. You see, it's just linguistics. Like really. You're just looking at like yeah, magic squares with linguistics. If you shouldn't expect everyone to have the same definition of very
But
vague terms
everyone,
like
no,
gamer.
I'm saying everyone does have the same definition, and then there's expansionists that have a prescriptive definition that doesn't actually exist. Because I'm being descriptive, and when I use when the term gamer, when
Yeah,
I'm talking
I understand.
colloquially,
Somebody,
they don't
yeah, I
understand.
understand.
And these expansionists are using the word in a way that doesn't actually conform to how people see the word. And that's why you get that sort of confusion. It's like, wait, more women play games than men? That's not my experience at all. That's not how I imagine gamers. That it sounds fake because what you're doing is they're sort of politicizing the word to fit their own ideology versus the
Oh my God.
ideology the status quo ideology. The status quo ideology, I'm just being descriptive. When I use the term gamer, you should be conforming to how people see the word instead of reinventing the word and
Yeah,
confusing people.
that's fair. That's fair. I have to say though, like, if you assume, like, I mean, you're looking at like in-group, out-group of specific definitions, on like specific platforms of media. I think a lot of it, especially if it's like if you're internet, like all over, like, how many times do you talk about gamers in real life and not like internet, in your own personal opinion? Do you ever go to like anywhere and just like hear the term gamer? Because I hear it. I live in a really like tech area, right? So I've literally heard people be like considered a gamer, like that are gonna get hired where I work. Like, yeah, he's a gamer. There was some dude that put Andrew Tate on his application,
What?
literally like I like Andrew Tate. Like that was like for like what do you enjoy? You know what I mean? Like it's like I'm a gamer. It's a really easy thing to put on a piece of paper and go, I am this. I can identify as this because of how vague it is in real life. So
Mm-hmm.
but one thing I'm gonna compare like your vagueness on it and it being somewhat politicized in a certain realm with gender inequality or whatever you name it, is
Mm-hmm.
say the satanic panic of video games in the 90s. This also runs it back into religion. I can deal with all of these at the same time. All I have to do is say satanic panic. Ever heard of that? It was a huge thing in the 90s. Televangelism like type shit. It was
I know
Pokemon was
exactly what you're talking about
monsters. Yeah,
because I've
you would
linked the
love that shit, yeah.
actual the videos of this guy going Mewtwo 3 fingers. That means he's part of the devil. Some
Dude,
shit.
like, you're capturing monsters, these
All right,
demons
carry
that
on,
you
carry
keep
on,
in
carry
your
on. Yeah, carry
yeah,
on. Get to the
anyway,
point.
that's all I'm saying. No, that was my only advice is, like, if you think that's interesting, look at ways that, gaming was weaponized back in the '90s for political reasons, because
I
it's kind of
I
very similar thing.
know
Yep.
it was, it's like, you're gonna turn our kids into criminals. I mean, I think any gamer should actually know the history. Um, at
It's
least a little
wild.
bit because they've definitely been.
It was banned from schools funded by the United States government in the night. Like Pokemon was like they had now it's seen like it can be segued into, oh, you shouldn't be on your phone in school, but like back in like you're in your lunchroom and you just have Pokemon on a Game Boy. It got kind of like intense in some areas of the United States, like especially where I live,
It got
like it was
intense
pretty
in my
intense.
after school club where we could do whatever the fuck we want, and I had Pokemon cards. And then this lady, we hated this lady. What she would do is, so we would do dens. Where we'd get tables and then put blankets over them and then we'd crawl behind them. And that's how we basically smuggled Pokemon cards into this after school club so we could just play with Pokemon cards. And she hated them and she persecuted us. She was like, I'm taking these away. And it's like, what the fuck? I just want to play with my Pokemon. But yeah, no, I know I've been persecuted by these people. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, simple shit, man. Like, yeah. So it's yeah, you're just seeing an evolution of it, and like it hasn't gone anywhere. It's just being put into gender issues now. But the thing is, it's not just people that like the people that are like gaming is bad. It's like we're all gamers, but we have like I don't know. It's interesting to see the timeline of it. I don't know. What do you think is gonna do you think this is gonna stop at any point? Do you think people are just dumb? Like,
Wait, what's gonna
like I
stop?
don't. Oh, just like the use of terms like game. Okay, another like if you want to tie it into other things, like if you bring up hobbyism, um, the music industry. Consider you like, let's say you're a fan of music. I mean, you could just listen to beeps on your microwave, and if they have certain tones, you can technically say it made like some sort of measure, right? Like some sort of measure that could be considered a song. Yeah, it obviously isn't a fan of someone that listens to music. It's not a music fan. They're listening to
Right.
a microwave, unless the person also likes Merzbow and noise music. Then all they're listening to could be what a future sample, or it could sound like something from a song they listen to, right? Like it's very vague terminology on what you consider noise and music, like kind of
I know.
a yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, it's not just gaming. Like it's like the
It's
music
with
industry deal.
everything.
Like yeah, it goes. Yeah, you're looking at linguistics and like the interpretation of certain phrases and specific cultures on the planet. Like that's all. They're always going to be weaponized for some political gain in some way or form.
Well, when I say political, I don't mean the way people say political. I just mean making it contentious. That's what I should say. I don't
Contentious. That's
care
good.
if you're doing anything for political reasons. Like, I'm not one of those guys that screams, "That's political" over something that they don't like. Like, that's cringe. You make anything political that you want to make political. Um, when I mean is why
Ideological
you make it,
perspective.
it's ideological. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's why are you making you're basically confusing the definition of the word gamer for ideological reasons. Um, And it's not like I care for what reasons it is. I'm just sort of describing something. You can do anything for ideological reasons. It's not a principle that I care about it being ideological. I just care that you're changing it. That's the part that I actually care
As a
about. It's like,
gamer,
wow,
like
as a
as a
gamer.
gamer. Sorry, it's kind of
Yeah,
funny. Yeah, as a gamer.
it confuses me, but it also confuses other people because it creates false impressions, and that's what is really annoying because then a lot of these sort of it's
It's
like
like
gamers are
tainting the
sort.
water.
Would you say
Oh, it's like tainting the water. Like it's a term, like tainting
poison
the
in the
water.
well?
Yeah, poisoning the well, tainting the water. Yeah.
Um, yeah, so because a lot of the people that engage in that sort of in the sort of prescription redefinition of the word gamer also have access to um let's say mainstream outlets which older people will engage with, and they'll sort of create false impressions of what the gamer institution or the gaming institution looks like. um
Worldwide
I don't
Gaming
like
League.
that. Would you say?
You gotta look at it. Oh, Worldwide Gaming League. What do you think about like companies like Major League Gaming? Like, like the Major League Gaming term? Like, what do you think about
MOG.
the term? What do you think about like the idea it's just called Major League Gaming? You know what I mean? Like it's
that's
very
the
vague.
that's the only I didn't realize Major League baseball and Major League whatever the fuck, MLB I guess, and Major League Basketball existed. So for me it was always MLG, and it's like, oh wow, they have like the same sort of thing, but I don't know what it's actually meant to mean. It's just competitive gaming, but Major League, I don't know.
Yeah, Major League Gaming. It's not just like that. It's not a small league. It's a major league of gaming. Like you have no idea
Right,
how major this is. Like,
right,
yeah. So
exactly.
I mean, it's already been a really vague term, and then like it's gonna like it's
Well,
like saying like washers. People that wash things. Like like I don't know. Like I'm not. You're not washing like I wash. And obviously, you could easily take out and just use it for whatever ideological standpoint. Like I'm just really simple. Really simple. The Satanic Panic thing is major though. That's a huge fucking thing. Like I don't know why it's getting what's the right word? Whitewashed kind of. Like there isn't many people that can like correlate the Satanic Panic of gaming to like fucking music because that is like the same. What's the Judas Priest trials were a really good example of this too. Like there was some dude that okay, you have like I don't know when it comes to NFL game like MFL gaming like MLG gaming like somebody like I don't know. There's a lot of examples I could throw out. Like, would you consider that a gamer? Would you consider this a music fan? Like is it now? Do you think that the companies like advertising that this is a game? I don't know. Like do you think they all like are liable? Do you think it's like the corporations are liable for the term? Or do you think that's just a human thing? Like it's like a everyday like the way that people describe it in certain regions changes. Do you think that there's some sort of overarching like defining pattern of what you consider gaming through like the game developers and how they kind of like what's the right word? Um give a status to the people that play said game. So, for instance, if you're going to Call of Duty, you're assuming it's going to have some sort of competitive aspect of it. Like, okay, when you say gaming, is it like competitiveness, or is it just the depth in which someone plays a video game? Like,
Lato.
okay, that's fair. Okay, you think that's like built by the like? Do you think the companies that make games are like aware of that difference, or?
um I don't know how cognizant they are of terms. I don't know if they genuinely that's what they're concerned with. I think that's just an identifier of the community. The community identifies one way, and when you have other people, and then other people will sort of also understand this definition or have their own sort of
Like
similar
that's like
one-to-one
ad hoc.
definition.
So it's pretty much like you think it's like ad hoc. Do you know what
Yeah,
ad hoc is?
absolutely.
Yeah,
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 post hoc, ad hoc. Yeah, after the fact.
yeah.
Um, though you do see do see, you know, advertisers like Razer, they'll do, you know, for gamers by gamers. It's definitely not made by
Yeah.
fucking Candy Crush fans. That's all I'm saying, you know, competitive mice, competitive controllers, or
Maybe no,
whatever.
yeah, it
Not
is.
even
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
competitive,
I got the
but
Razer phone and I play Candy Crush way better with this. I'm in the leaderboards
ah,
now, dude.
yes, my
Be crazy.
120 hertz phone is
Yeah.
really helping me with Candy Crush. No,
Yeah,
fuck
it
off.
might be. I bet they have sponsorships. I bet money there is a pipeline from
Yeah,
Candy Crush.
and those are the hobbyist guys. I'm not talking about, but Candy
Yeah,
Crush
you're talking. Yeah, I don't
is
know.
just a casual game.
I
It's
try to
not
look at
one
the
of those
markets when
games.
it comes to these sorts of like thing. I always try to look at like one of my favorite quotes is "follow the money." Like from my stepfather, Bill McPherson. He, by the way, the goat. But like, yeah, I always like if you're seeing like odd divides on a certain term, I usually like okay, follow the money. Like, what's the point? Like, oh, is it like is a local thing? I mean, I've seen like I mean, you're gonna probably like Gamergate. I guess would be what most people would start with this, like, oh yeah, Gamergate or something. But like, I mean, I look at like how are people benefiting from the debate in any way? Like, is it the companies or the people? Like at a point, and I'm like, when it comes to gaming, it just every time you say the word, it just gives you a higher probability of doing it. I don't know. It's a huge like magic square of things. A lot of it just ends up profiting like Razer in the end, so they're kind of winning either way. You might have
Really?
more, like,
How?
for instance, if you look at the opposite end, like, oh, there's more gamers that are like, there's more gamers that are female was the original argument you were making about the term. What do you think, like that being a debate, in some sort of social web, like, what do you think the results of that's going to be? More female gamers, more people playing games that are female because of it being said
No,
around them, or like,
no.
what do you think is
That's
going to
my
happen? Just
problem.
angry? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Field social campaign.
Yeah, I don't think more women are playing because now you've incorporated them into the gamer um definition, and that's why it's really weird to call them what people colloquially um have decided are gamers. It's like you're not a gamer, and you have to earn that. I think um there's a reason to gatekeep, because once you stop gatekeeping a term that people are trying to distill, the term becomes meaningless. So,
Mm.
what was even the original question? So I sort of went into my own
Oh,
tangent.
your original question was what you said, well, not question, the topic you brought up was
No,
the
your
idea that
question.
what do you think the end result of having gender issues on something as vague as using the word gamer is? Do you think that that would give an increase of
Yeah, no, I
people
did.
that are
Yeah,
females, or do you think it's just a
no.
mini like vortex of conversation for people that consider themselves gamers being like almost chastised as they use that as an identifier for themselves, as they are not females that play games. Like I don't know, it's very interesting. Like, do you not think there's going to be more female gamers from the argument that like most gamers are female?
No. Yeah, no, I just
No.
don't see
Like,
that. No.
what do you
I
do? You think
just
there'll be less male gamers from that argument?
no.
Do you think nothing's going to change? Nothing's going to change in any way, and it's just a
I
really
think
silly
the arguments
argument.
are a proxy for something else.
Yeah, that's
That's
fair.
that's what I mean, right? It's
Yeah,
like
no,
calling.
ideological bullshit when it comes to certain identifiers of my IMO.
Yeah, you know, categorizing women as sorry, I'm saying that in like the weirdest way. Sorry, women as gamers as if they're not gamers. Yeah, women can be gamers. I think they meet the threshold. But having more women be gamers than men, when from my experience, is not true. Um, and
You're just not playing the right. You
and
must be
the
more white.
sociological imagination um of a gamer isn't Candy Crush users, which they're trying to define. I certainly
You're
think
like a
that.
straw man or something.
Would you
What
say?
about like? It sounds like Candy Crush is kind of a straw man, but yeah, like I
It
understand the
actually kind
point.
of is. It kind of is a straw man, right? But that's the thing, is that when you consider the actual terminology, when you read these things, when you're talking about like phone puzzle games, which is Candy Crush would
Hey
be
man,
included in that. That's
kind
fucking
of fun.
stupid. I'm sorry, that is not a gamer. No one is thinking somebody playing something on a phone is a gamer. Just playing fucking phone games if you're in a first
PUBG,
world
PUBG,
country is
COD Mobile,
hilariously stupid.
Fortnite, COD Mobile.
Yeah, if you're playing COD on the phone, sorry, you're not a gamer. You're not.
Okay.
That's some fake shit. Cause think about it, you're on a phone, right? And then you're playing games, right, on a touch screen that is so much more cumbersome than playing on a controller, which is already disgusting over a mouse and keyboard. Unbelievable. It's somebody that wants. So think about you're a hobbyist, right? And think about the pipeline. I start playing games on my phone, right? The dream is to graduate to play on a game to play on a games console or a PC because the fidelity of the controls is so much better. So sort of implicitly, if you're playing games on a phone, you're not serious. You're just not serious. Not saying that you can't be, and I'm making a very general argument. It's not like, whoa, there's edge cases. No, no, no. You need to understand the word general means generally the people playing games on phones are going to be less, they're going to be less hobbyist about their pursuit of gaming than people that are playing on a games console or a PC. Just saying.
Man, yeah, I see you have a very I've heard this opinion a lot. Yeah, I've heard this opinion, especially with COD people, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I that's fair. I mean, like what about like Hearthstone or something? You play that on your phone, Hearthstone.
Yeah,
You know,
that's a
like it's a
game.
card game.
Yeah,
That's like
I know
yeah,
what
it's
it
like
is.
Hearthstone. You know what I mean? Like there is like when you start like using the identifier and trying to like group specific terms like console and like I don't know like I feel like it's more the interpretation of what you consider their hobbyism. Like the hobbyists of if they have a like a really like okay, for instance, on my phone I have Pokemon. I have a bunch of Pokemon ROMs, and I'm doing
Same.
speed runs. I'm doing speed runs on my phone in my job, right? And am I a gamer? Mostly, I think most people would go, yeah, the kid's like a gamer or whatever. He just plays video games on his free time, whatever, right? So like, in that
But they're
case,
not
what you
phone
can still
games. They're not phone
it,
games. They're games that
it's
you
a
played
game
as a kid
on
on a
my
games
phone.
console,
Yeah.
and you've now emulated them because the technology has enabled you to
Okay.
basically play these, low-powered, relatively games on your phone. But those come from playing on a games console, which are
That's really the
specifically
argument.
designed to play games.
Yeah, I'm just piecing you out with it because like there's definitely like certain things where like you brought up like you obviously aren't gonna have the same experience on different platforms of things you would consider games. Like if you get a really if you're gonna use the Candy Crush thing, like let's say you have a really like set like decked out freaking gaming computer, but for streaming, and you play Candy Crush casually. That's not a gamer in your opinion because they're a streamer with a really good gaming computer with the peripherals you consider a gamer to have, but they just play Candy Crush on it casually. They don't play anything else. Like that wouldn't be considered a gamer in your opinion,
Doesn't sound
right?
like a
Like
gamer to me.
yeah, but you find another person. I'll pull myself into it. Like you find some like random kid in a hoodie just playing Pokemon Gold, trying to get shiny like probabilities on their
Oh,
phone.
that's a gamer. That's a
That's a
gamer.
gamer, right? So
It's
when it
easily a
comes to the
gamer.
platform and the game, and that you start seeing like I just wanted to like what do you say, prod that one out because that's definitely
Yeah, man,
relevant.
this is like the base. This is like the trans argument, and then like the arguments
Oh yeah,
over a
bring up
chair.
hermaphrodites. Yeah.
Hermaphrodite. Right, right. So when you get to the trans arguments, you have the Matt Walsh figures that are very like they have such strict definitions for man and women, right? And they
Yeah,
also don't even understand the sort of definitions that other people go by. To be fair, the people that he had in his documentary, What is a Woman, they were fucking insane. They were really poor representatives. But the thing is, Jordan Peterson actually was the best one to make the case for alternate I guess like the newer sort of trans definition of man woman or the sex differential from gender. But what's really weird is that when you have these strict definitions, they don't actually make any sense because define a fucking chair. And then
Yeah,
you
it
can
goes back
always
into
be the
linguistics.
guy that
Yeah,
goes, well, what about
non-Chomsky.
this? And then what about that? And then your definition is constantly shifting. You can't have a strict definition for anything. So, prodding at, what is a gamer, I can only give you, there's always going to be edge cases where there's going to be like, yes, okay, I'll call that person a gamer because, it's like, it's a really, far edge case. But in general, we know what gamers look like, and sure, we can't have a set of criteria that we always look at and that will always 100% with accuracy define what most people colloquially, actually, I don't know why I said most people and then colloquially in the same sentence, but most people would
Yeah, let's go let
cons-
him cook.
what most people would consider a gamer. You'll hit most people with that. Same with chairs, same with man and woman, same with whatever the fuck definitions.
Were you ever big on Gamergate? Was that like something you ever kept up with, or?
No, I think
Oh,
that I think I mean, even this sort of I was only using the gamer as a proxy for how I view religion, where it's like I think some of these terms should be gay kept. Calling anyone religious, at least if I was religious, and I'm talking from the perspective of if I was a religious person and anyone's calling themselves a Christian, I think that's comical. I think that really is super comical, and I think being super inclusive. Do you know what the paradox of intolerance is?
explain it in your own terms.
Right. So what the paradox of intolerance is basically there are people you can't be tolerant of everyone because if you're tolerant of the intolerant, you are letting intolerant people go unchecked. You need to be intolerant of the intolerant to maintain your values. So let's say if you have liberal values, you can't let intolerant people run amok doing whatever the fuck they want, poisoning your values. You need to hold them accountable. It's like, oh, if you go nigga 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 all day long, right, and saying it to every single black person, trying to make them super uncomfortable, you can't be super tolerant of that person. You need to be intolerant of the intolerant so you can keep them out. You need to gatekeep people in order to maintain a tolerant liberal society. And so when it comes to the definitions of like Christianity or gamer, it's like I do think that there is a usefulness to gatekeep these definitions because once you stop gatekeeping these definitions, oh wow, I'm throwing paper airplanes, I'm a gamer because definitionally, like technically, if you look at the word gamer, even though when we look at the word
You do the
gamer,
same thing with religion and other
right,
ideological
exactly, yeah,
it's where it's
exactly.
like as my identifier, I need to make sure that I can keep this. And I get it. And also like yeah, like I like the intolerance paradox. It's very interesting. Just freaking like I mean I don't know. Yeah, interesting. Okay, that's fair.
Hold on, let me go and take
Are
a
you
piss.
you're oh you're good. Yep. I have like one question left. DJ Smokey, what the fuck are you doing?
Back. What
I have
question?
one question left. So,
Well,
you're secular, right? You don't, are you like,
100%. I've been secular since I was a kid.
what made you get to, okay. were you raised secular, or
Yeah.
did it come across? Okay,
Well,
okay.
I wasn't. Well, my earliest memories were from when I lived with my grandparents because my mom was going for university. I live with my single. My mom is a single mom.
That's lit.
Um, so they were religious. So I, and this was when I was 4 to 5. Once I was 5, I moved UK. Back to the UK. I was born in the UK, but I moved back to the UK, and when I was 4, and a little bit of when I was 5, we did go to religion, and every time I go to sleep, we prayed
Yeah,
um, to God.
God's great, God's
And
good. Let us thank Him for our food. By His hands we will be fed. Thank you, Lord, for our daily bread. Amen. Got you.
don't know any prayers, man. Don't really remember any of the prayers, but I do remember contemplating: is this real? I'm sort
I
of
got a
looking at the
few of them.
ceiling, and I don't. It's like to me, it's like I'm just sort of like imagining something, and that's just my imagination. It's like, is this real? There is, I don't see any sky god or whatever the fuck. I don't even know if I was meant to,
Spaghetti
because
God. Yeah.
I know some people are. Oh, I would always think right too. Where I was super inquisitive when I was a kid. Actually, quite skeptical. As a kid, I would be like, I would sort of, when you're playing a game, right? And you're playing a game to a very competitive degree, like zombies, you're trying to, you're looking through the code, you're looking for everything to sort of edge out any tiny advantage you can get in order to push the record further, right? And
Yeah.
that was my
You're looking at how
mindset
the
when it
wind
came to
moves. You're looking at
religion.
how the wind moves and why it acts the way it does. I understand.
Right. And so I viewed religion through that paradigm. That was my way of thinking. It was like, okay, is there a dog god? I remember asking my mom that when I was 5. Is there a dog god? I just didn't really understand the mechanics of it. But there was
Yeah, right,
one
all
moment.
dogs go to heaven. Yo, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
understand. I
like
get it.
it's fucking dog Jesus, right? So
Yeah.
there was one moment, and this is the defining moment of my childhood. I wanted Transformers, and I remember my mom went to this place called Poundland to get me something that looked like Transformers, and I went and I looked at my pillow, and I just looked at it because that's where I was gonna go. And then my mom went in my room and placed the thing. I didn't see this happen, by the way, but she, I went to toilet, whatever the fuck. She placed the toys under my pillow, because the two fairies meant to come put the toys down. And then I went in my room and I saw it poking out because it was hastily done. She did it really quickly, so I would, obviously didn't. She would know that it basically make perpetuate the two fairy falsehood. And I saw it poking out, and I'm like, that definitely wasn't there before, so I know she put that there. I know that was my immediate
Yeah.
reaction, and after that,
It wasn't,
I
yeah, divine, what is the term? Fuck, what's it
divine
called?
intervention.
Yeah, divine intervention. It wasn't divine intervention, and yeah, no one rolled a 20 type deal. It wasn't divine intervention.
Right, but already I had a very skeptical mind where I was like, is this real? Is this real? Because obviously I went off of just what I saw, right? And what I could imagine based off of what I could see. And so when I saw that, I'm like, yeah, this is fake. And God, all that God bullshit was also something that was told to me that was fake. Um, I knew my conviction was strong as a kid. And obviously, the foundation of my idea is completely different to how I evaluate if the Christian God is real. But what hasn't changed is the end. I guess the end result of the foundation, which is the Christian religion is just false. It doesn't exist. And so when I was 5, ever since I was 5, I was atheist. But also my skepticism extrapolated to just school in general. I remember learning about history and the Romans, and I'm like, these people fought with spears and shit. I don't believe this shit. This sounds ridiculous because I'm I got my imagination through just observing how the world works. I couldn't imagine a world that existed like this. It was like, what? Sounds so completely alien. I wonder if it's just another thing that adults are telling us to whatever the fuck they're doing. I couldn't even imagine the reason why they're doing this. Maybe to make being a kid fun or whatever. But I was very skeptical of even history, which obviously no, now that
Definitely
I
not.
know
I
the
understand. They tried to teach me creationist biology in middle school,
oh
even though it
really?
was against the federal law. Hey, think about like where I lived. There was a bunch of indigenous Native American tribes, like the Creek and Cherokee,
Hmm.
that were completely whitewashed over in history. Like the Trail of Tears was completely whitewashed over. Shit, slavery itself was almost whitewashed. I remember
So is this
my
Georgia?
history teacher. Yeah, in Georgia. Yeah, well, it was okay. Instead of the Civil War being for slavery, it was because of cotton. Right, really simple flip. Like it was cotton manufacturing.
Hmm.
And, like, it wasn't like tobacco and cotton was the reason why it was like, the competition between areas of the country with cotton and tobacco, because of specific areas that you can grow it better. It wasn't, like, because of slavery or anything like that. Um,
That's
yeah, no,
wild to
you're
me.
bringing the
That
point.
rewriting
Oh,
of
yeah,
history is
it's
insane to
easy,
me
though,
because
it's really easy.
the articles of secession absolutely and explicitly wrote about slavery. The Constitution of the Confederate States of America explicitly enshrined the right to slavery. It was a big thing. I'm surprised that people care about the rebellion.
The South will rise again, brother. It's a real thing, it's not
Yeah,
going
why did it?
anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why? Yeah, after what
It's
150
'cause it's
years?
very yeah, yeah, it'll be there after I die, like, it's not going anywhere, like,
Yeah, I don't
yeah.
understand though. Where does this Confederacy porn come from? Where they idealize and fetishize this Confederate rebellion?
Idea of belonging in a certain area, it's like an in-group, out-group thing, most are. It's and then you
I
gotta
don't
ride.
understand because I'm saying it's
I
very
mean, I don't know
specific
the
to
oh,
that.
raise like how you, when you saw that thing under your pillow and you're like, that is obviously my parents."
Hmm.
Um, let's say it's not your parents. That's a really good example. Like it wasn't your parent; it was a tooth fairy. It
Hmm.
all has to do with the way that someone is raised, regardless of if they're like parents or higher ups, their friend group, the environment they're in. Specifically, this slavery bit. That's you're in rural Georgia, so you
No,
go
what
to
I
a
don't
coffee
understand
shop.
is it's very
It's just
specific to the southern states of America versus,
yeah, you're
let's
right.
say,
You're in
Germany
history.
and Nazism. It's just not even close.
Well, because there was a actual you gotta think about the time period and this how much of the history is pushed on some level in those countries. Like that, yeah, it all becomes like how much public opinion is there on the specific thing. There's a bunch with both of these, but if you start looking at Nazism, like that's another like that's a international issue, like slavery is. But you didn't see like us, like I mean, outside of all the places we did this in history. You don't see a lot about like Britain taking over Africa, for instance. Like that's a huge thing that isn't really taught. You don't see much about banana republics of South America as well, with the United States and NATO. Yeah, both of these are like pretty clear in indications of the equivalent of slavery. What you see though in history is the South versus the North. Like in the U.S. Like that's just at least in the history books of the United States and public schools. If you want to learn about banana republics or I don't know, imperialism of Africa, you're either going to get into political science in college or you're into sociology. Like, that's really where it is. You might get, like, maybe a chapter or something on it. We go off of in the United States, we go off of something called the C3 framework. So you have specific, laws that most schools have to, like, teach, like, a law that you have to I don't know, like, what do you call it? There's, like, a term for it. Like, there's rubrics that are released federally for public schools to teach specific things to get credits, right? So for instance, in middle school in America, you have to learn about slavery in some way, shape, or form. But there are very vague rules on it. So the interpretation of how it is put out ends up being what you call a framework for a specific division in a state in America, right? So it goes on like how the actual fundamental rules work for education and schooling. Um, if you're really into like why you were taught the way you were, look into the different frameworks of what area you lived in, were at the period of time you lived in that area for schooling. The one that we currently use is a C3 framework. I think I brought that up. I would highly recommend looking at that. Even though it's America, you'll kind of get an idea.
Um,
Um, it's extremely like the all you have to do is keep it on the textbooks, which most of the I mean I don't want to go too tinfoil on it, but like you have like Pearson and McGraw Hill. Those are like the two bigger publicists of history books in the United States for public schooling. Feel free to look this up. Like, these are like the two big ones, right? They also do college core education. Um, and there isn't much like freedom with how the teacher can express what they're having to teach. So it usually just comes out as like what they know about the topic instead of like them looking at the rules, like them like the actual like subject the rules are based on. They're not like relearn I think a really good teacher, what they do, they get a framework they have to work with, and then they relearn the things they're meant to taught, so they can give like an unbiased perspective on what they have to teach kids to get credentials for in schooling. It's not like actually giving you informative information on what happened at a period of time or reflection on what that was. It's mainly just you need to know that the Civil War happened, right? You that has to like, and then the teacher has their own opinion on like what that was, as you know they're just having to teach what they're told to teach. Um, I know a few people that are teachers that like I know a bunch of historic what do you say like history teachers that actually quit because of the C3 framework. Anyway, going yeah. I have a really good channel. Actually, I'm gonna link. I also have to work on 420, so I'm gonna get all my shit together really quick. Make sure I don't get like killed by some crazy stoner or some shit. Uh,
mm-hmm.
mm-hmm. What was it? Really cool channel. To answer your question, I don't think the teachers are like they're going above the standard in their heads, but they're only using their own knowledge on the situation without relearning it or trying to like investigate further than what they already know. That's where you start getting these odd loops in certain areas. As what's like for instance, you said 150 years. Like, how many grandfathers or great grandfathers is that from somebody that had a slave house in Georgia? Three, three generations up. That's nothing. It's still going to be
Nah,
ingrained in
that's a
the
lot.
society.
Nah, that's a
That's
lot.
you'd be yeah, but then you think about like how long is like I don't know, like you were going off of newspapers until what like the six I mean outside of radio like what like the 80s, you know, 60s 80s. So I don't
Man,
know.
radio was around for way
Well, since
later
the,
than that.
like yeah 1800s, yeah, but that's why I
No,
said
I'm
outside of
saying
radio.
it lasted until I mean, it's still kind of still going.
I still listen to radio stations. 97.1 The River. Talk about important.
Like noughties, still radio was
And
still a big presence.
FM.
I know what knowing better is.
Yeah, fucking great channel. Anyway, I gotta get ready. It's gonna be a weird day. I think all my coworkers are gonna be high, so I'm gonna have to designate drive. So yeah,
Nice.
yeah, I'm gonna be
Stay
the designated
safe.
driver. Yeah, I'll try. I don't think it. I mean, I don't think it'll be too bad, but yeah, definitely keep it in mind going to work today. Anyway, have a great day. Nice talking.
Yeah, nice.